Niners fans, it's about that time. Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be in front of the best fans in the NFL, the faithful, the Niner Empire. Unfortunately, the season has come to an end for the red and gold, for the faithful, for the Niner Empire. And obviously, that's something that we're definitely going to discuss today, the 49ers and Rams and the aftermath of this game and ending our season and beginning the 49ers off season. There's obviously been some rumblings with Jimmy G. Clearly, this was Jimmy G's last snap as a 49er, and we're exhausting all resources to find a trade partner for Jimmy G. We'll definitely talk about that. Got to talk about some of the 49ers' latest news. There have been some signings. There's been some shuffling within the coaching staff, so we'll definitely get into that. But yeah, I'm glad to be on tonight on a Thursday night. I hadn't been on since Sunday night? No, was that Sunday night? Yeah, Sunday night after the game where we lost. I needed some time to process everything because that was definitely a frustrating loss, especially to a division opponent who, we hadn't dominated, the last game, obviously, but, we had won 6 straight games against this opponent. And, I was definitely disappointing. I'm not disappointed in the players. I'm disappointed in the outcome of the game. And, because most people would say we shouldn't have even been there. Starting out the season 3-5 within our first 8 games. As I said before, my faith was definitely tested, after those 8 games. But this team continued to fight. This team continued to be together. They continued to pull in the same direction. And that allowed us to get to the NFC Conference Championship game. So, in some ways, I think this team overachieved, but I definitely think we had an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium next Sunday. But no doubt, I'm proud of this team. We will get into what I feel were the reasons the 49ers lost this game to the LA Rams. We'll definitely get into that. But this show, of course, is nothing without the fans, the people in the chat. And I love to have a lively chat. I love the people who are subscribed to me in the chat and joining me in this open discussion talking about the Niners. And shout out to everyone watching Jay intheBay Facebook, Jay intheBay YouTube, and Jay intheBay Twitter. Appreciate everyone that could come through tonight on a Thursday night. But let's say what's up to the people in them comments. Let's see who we got. All right, so we got J.R. Meadows. What's good? How you doing, JR? He says, bye, Jimmy G, Mr. INT. Man, it's funny because I've been hearing that people want to keep Jimmy. I don't really understand that. And of course, a lot of people echo your sentiments as well, JR. I am included. I've seen Jimmy. I appreciate what he's done for this franchise when he came over in 2017. I think he had a solid run as our quarterback, but I think we wanted something better. That's why we drafted Trey Lance. And I wish Jimmy well. I'm sure he'll be traded to a team that they just need a veteran quarterback to step in and make some plays. Jimmy can do that on occasion. But hey, man, I wish Jimmy G well. No hard feelings. And I appreciate his time that he was here with the 49ers. We also have Pale Time in the building. What's good? What's good, Pale Time, man? I know you are geeked up. I know you are on pins and needles that your LA Rams are in the Super Bowl in their home stadium, SoFi Stadium, man. Congratulations to you and your team and all the other LA Rams content creators. I know you guys are very excited to be playing the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl, man. So I just got to say congratulations to you guys. We have David V in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, David V. Hopefully all is well on a Thursday night. He says, what's good, Brother Jay? All good in my hood. We also have, and David V, very gracious of him to say good luck to Pale Time. That's very nice of you, David. Very, very nice of you, man. We also have Young Hitter in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, Young Hitter. Young Hitter says, what's up, Jay in the Bay? Hope you're having a wonderful, blessed evening. I am. This loss to the Rams definitely hit me. And I didn't think it would hit me as hard as it did because, honestly, the night we're playing with house money against the Rams, man. We went on the road, beat the Cowboys, beat the Packers. We had a lot of good victories. Hey, the Rams were better that night. So they were the better team. They deserved to win. They made more plays at the end of the day, and that's why they're playing in that Super Bowl. But you have a blessed evening as well, Young Hitter. Pale Time says, do you think Jimmy G could, in a weird way, end up with the Packers if they were not to keep Rodgers and Phil Love is ready? I don't think so. I think if Aaron Rodgers gets traded or if he wants out from the Green Bay Packers, I think they're going to ride with Jordan Love. I think they will bring in a veteran quarterback who has no chance of starting, but just to back up Jordan Love just in case of injury. But I think they would ride with Jordan Love. They spent a first-round draft pick on him, and the clock is ticking. I believe this would be Jordan Love's third season, I believe, with the Green Bay Packers. So, hey, I think it's time to give Jordan Love some run, especially if Aaron Rodgers says he wants out. And for Jimmy G, I think we'll definitely trade Jimmy G to the highest bidder, preferably a team in the AFC conference. So, maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Denver Broncos. I think that could be an option for the 49ers. And, I think Jimmy G, he's solid QB. I think we could at least get somewhere between a second and a fourth round pick for Jimmy because statistically, he's a solid quarterback. The biggest knock on Jimmy is, his availability to be healthy. He's been injured 2 out of the 4 seasons he was here. But if you look at his numbers, yeah, he throws the interception, but he can throw some touchdowns. He threw for over 11,000 yards when he was with the 49ers in 4 years. Basically 2.5 years because 2 out of the 4 years he was injured. The second time he got injured, that was in 2020. He played in a handful of games. But, if you're the Broncos, why wouldn't you trade for Jimmy? The Broncos have a strong running game. They got a good defense. They have weapons at wide receiver position. And the same could be said about the Steelers. So I think there will be a market for Jimmy G, absolutely. And I think we should be able to get some draft compensation for Jimmy. Make no mistake about that. I know Russell Wilson may want out, Aaron Rodgers want out, but that's only 2 quarterbacks. After that, what other free agent quarterback has the accomplishments that Jimmy G has? Not many. And I hear that the NFL draft class this year, in terms of quarterbacks, just aren't. It's not like 2021 where it was Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance. Like there's not a plethora of quarterbacks who are highly touted. I believe I could count on one hand maybe, and there may be 1 or 2 quarterbacks drafted in the first round, but we'll see. But I think there's definitely a market for Jimmy G. Absolutely. We have KD in the building. What's good? KD says, hello, Jay in the Bay, and I hope you are having a wonderful Thursday. Same to you, KD. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you for coming through, stopping by, saying what's good. Pale Time. He says, who on the 49ers would you want to go skydiving with? Well, first of all, I wouldn't go skydiving at all. I don't think I would ever do that. I'm not an adventurous type person like that. So I would not go skydiving at all. But hey, appreciate the question, Pale. And Corey Davis agrees. He says, no skydiving for me. Young Hitter says, go to Miss Jimmy. Best of luck to him. I echo your sentiments, man. I think people will assume that Trey Lance is just going to hit the ground running, but Jimmy G accomplished some good things in his years with the 49ers. Obviously, we want more, and that's why we drafted Trey Lance. But I think Jimmy G, he could be successful, with the team that has a lot of weapons around it on both sides of the ball. And of course, if they have a strong running game, but who knows? Maybe Jimmy G in a different system, he could be much better. But I'm eager to see that. I'm interested to see how he'll be on a different team. That'd be funny if we play that team in the regular season next year. That would be really, really interesting. But man, I wish the best for Jimmy. And he's his last press conference with the team. He's a classy guy. He never said anything negative about the organization. When he easily could have. And he's just a class act guy. And it's kind of, it's hard not to root for Jimmy G. And I know he's obviously not the best quarterback, but we're riding with Trey Area now. And like I said before, I wish the best for Jimmy, and I appreciate what he's done, for this organization, because 2017, man, there were some dark times after, Harbaugh was fired with Chip Kelly and Tom Sula and not really having a quarterback. And hey, Jimmy G, he held it down for a few years, especially when he was healthy. Pale Time says, and Corey, I'm in the same boat. If I had, I'd take Kittle. I feel you. We have Damian Lee in the house. What's good? What's good, D Lee? Thanks for tuning in, man. Damian says, what would you use this draft to improve? I would invest in completely helping make Trey Lance's job easier. Hey, man, that is a great idea. As it stands now, we do not have a first round pick. I need to look up how many draft picks we have. That's something I need to look up. But, areas of need for this team, if we start on the offensive side of the ball, we did draft Aaron Banks, and we hope that he will be an improvement over right guard Daniel Brunskill. That's all we can really hope for. I don't see the Niners investing a lot at that right guard spot. Maybe if we draft a offensive lineman who could play either center or guard in the later rounds of this year's draft, because Alex Mack, he may retire, he may not, but he's only got 1 year left on his contract. I think it would be smart to mold someone into that position that Alex Mack currently has, a center position. And I think that'd be great to add a center or a guard in this year's draft. You can never have too many running backs, right? I think with Shanahan's offense, he loves to run the ball. I think sometimes he wants to only use a few running backs at times. I'm not sure why. He loves to ride Mitchell and Debo, but you got other running backs. Why don't you use them? But the only running backs who are still on contracts through next season is Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sherman, and I believe that's it. Raheem Mostert, he's a free agent. I hope we bring back Raheem Mostert. And obviously he won't carry a lot of the running back load. I don't expect him to, not with Elijah Mitchell and Trey Sherman there, but it wouldn't hurt to bring back Raheem Mostert. I don't see why that wouldn't be a bad idea. Why that wouldn't be a good idea to bring back Raheem Mostert. It'd be a 1 year deal. He's had all success as a running back with the 49ers. Why not bring him back on a team-friendly deal? Jeff Wilson Jr., I'm not sure if we'll bring him back. He was injured a lot of the season, and I think personally, Jeff Wilson Jr. was underutilized, I think. But I wouldn't be surprised if we brought him back. I kind of would be, though. I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers draft a running back to help, in the later rounds, because you can never have really too many running backs. So in terms of helping Trey, I definitely think we'd get an offensive lineman. McGlinchey is on a 1 year deal, he's on the last year of his 5 year deal next year. So I would be surprised if the 49ers trade McGlinchey. I think we'll keep McGlinchey, for the next year. But I think we should get a offensive lineman in the draft who could play guard or center. Also get another running back. Receivers, I think we're good at receivers for the first time in a while. I think we're good. I like Ayuk. I like Debo. I like Jennings. He kind of solidified himself in that role as a third wide receiver. But maybe it wouldn't hurt to get a wide receiver in the draft in the later rounds for depth purposes, because after those three, I don't think we'll be bringing back Mohamed Sanu. Travis Benjamin's on a 1-year deal. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't bring him back. And then after that, there's really Trent Sherfield. Hey, I would be open to bringing him back, but there's not a lot of depth after that position. Defensive side of the ball, I think we need to definitely get another corner, a safety. I think we're good at linebackers. It would be nice to get another edge rusher outside of Nick Bosa. I know Arden Key's a free agent, and I know we have Samsung, but I would love to get another edge rusher opposite of Nick Bosa just to help him out. And of course, we got to resign DJ Jones as well. Got to resign him. But those I think are the main issues: is offensive line, particularly guard and center. I think we should get another running back. I would say corner, safety, and probably defensive end. I think those would be our main issues. We have whose house? Rams house. What's good? Good luck on Super Bowl Sunday, man. Congratulations again. You guys were the better team, man. Appreciate the kind words. He says, help Jay and the Bay keep grinding, man. I appreciate the kind words, Rams house. Corey Davis, so kind. He says, Payo time in Rams house. Congratulations on your Rams to the Super Bowl. JR Meadow says, Jimmy G, Mr. INT, thanks. But that last play, yeah, he was just trying to do all he could to make a play. And Jimmy's not the best when he scrambles. He's better when he's in the pocket. Let's see. We have Brehan in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, Brehan. How is your Thursday going? He says he loves this team, and I concur, man. I concur. Let's see. Damian Lee was saying, I was thinking of center. There is a guard center coming out. Absolutely. Definitely an interior offensive lineman we should look for in the draft. Laken Tomlinson, our left guard, right next to Trent Williams. He is a free agent. Hopefully we re-sign him. That was a underrated move by John Lynch in trading for Laken Tomlinson in 2017. Laken Tomlinson was with the Detroit Lions, and John Lynch traded some draft compensation for Laken Tomlinson. And I believe Laken Tomlinson has started every game since he's been a 49er. And Laken Tomlinson definitely deserves a pay raise. So hopefully we'll be able to keep him. But Laken Tomlinson and Trent Williams, I think that's a pretty solid left side of the offensive line. And long term, I don't think McGlinchey will be the answer long term at right tackle. We have Jalen Moore, but he's kind of been utilized as a left tackle. Hopefully he can start, training and working as a right tackle, because he could be the future right tackle. I don't think we'll re-sign McGlinchey after the 2020 season. I would be surprised if we do that. We have David in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, D. He says, what's good? Niners for life. Absolutely, man. Win, lose, draw. Niners for life all day. But we got to get into this good old 49ers versus Rams game. And, I'll admit the Rams were definitely the better team that day. And it's very unfortunate. But the Rams did, I can't lie, the Rams did an excellent job in slowing down our offense. The Rams, they were able to slow down our run game. And obviously that was key. That was key in this game for the Rams to do. They had, 8, 9, 10 guys in the box. And that really slowed down the run game. But it was kind of surprising because we've been able to run the ball effectively against the LA Rams, the last times we've played them. I believe all 6 times before we've run for over 100 rushing yards. We've been able to win the time of possession, and that's something that we did not do in this game. The Rams did an excellent job. They slowed down the running game. When was the last time the 49ers under Kyle Shanahan only ran the ball for 50 yards? That's crazy. 50 yards 2.5 yards a carry. That is something that I haven't seen in quite some time. And unfortunately, we weren't able to really have a counter punch. Our main punch was to run the ball. They blocked that punch, and we really didn't have a counter punch. I don't know why we did not run play action against this Rams defense when they had all those guys up front. I'm not sure. We can definitely blame Shanahan on that. But yeah, that was one thing in this game that was very disappointing. You got to give credit to the Rams. They did an excellent job. Credit to them. They shut down the running game, and we really didn't have an answer after that. Also, man, Cooper Kupp and OBJ, man, they really dominated the game. And I wasn't surprised that Cooper Kupp had a pretty good game because he's arguably statistically the best wide receiver this year. And I knew we would have trouble guarding him. But OBJ had a fantastic game as well. This was not a great game for Ambry Thomas, but he's a rookie. I'm not really expecting him to dominate. But, our corners did not have a great game. And the pass rush really didn't get there consistently, And that's credit to Matt Stafford and his Rams offense. They were getting rid of the ball pretty fast to negate that pass rush. And one huge stat that cannot be overlooked is the 49ers third down defense. It's something that has been hit or miss this year, if I'm being totally honest. The 49ers third down defense has definitely been hit or miss. You can't win the game if you can't get off the field on third down as a defense. We allowed 11 of 18 third down conversions, and that's just something that it's not winning football. You can't really win games if you can't get off the field on third down. And credit to the Rams, they were able to make plays on third down. And Cooper Kupp, I believe I saw a stat. Cooper Kupp had like 6 catches. 6 of his catches either were on third down or they were a touchdown. So I'm not sure why D'Amico Ryans didn't make the necessary adjustments. Why not double Cooper Kupp, especially on third down, because that's who Matt Stafford was going to majority of the time. So that's something that definitely was disappointing in this game. We obviously couldn't recover from it. So the Rams were better on third down. They obviously did a good job in playing physical, and that's something that we aspire to be, and that's what we do. We're the physical team, but we got out physical, point blank. We got out physical in the fourth quarter when we needed it most. During the fourth quarter, the Niners, we didn't play our best. Jimmy G had a terrible fourth quarter. I believe he only completed 1 pass. The offensive line didn't block for him. That was something that was evident. And the Rams, they were just a better team. Let's see. Payo time. Hot diggity dog. Appreciate you, Payo time. Payo time, I appreciate that donation, man. He says, love your content. What advice would you give a football fan who is starting their YouTube channel for their favorite team? 1,400 subs just to start. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Payo time. Let's see. What I would say is be yourself, and just practice. Just start out practicing. Don't worry about subs. Don't worry about likes. Don't worry about views. Just practice talking in front of a camera, and if it's your passion, it'll come easy. But that's the number one thing. Don't worry about the views, the subs, the likes. Just practice getting in front of a camera, talking in front of a camera. I would also say do a lot of videos. Your first 100 videos will probably be your worst videos, but you'll continue to learn from them and you continue to get better. And just have the mindset that you want to continue to get better in every video. And also look at other YouTubers. See what works for them. It may not work for you. It may work for you, but just if it's your passion, it'll show when you're doing the video. And of course, I get nervous before every video, every live stream, and that's perfectly normal. Nothing wrong with that. That just means you want to do well, and you hope people like you. Oh, and that's another thing. Not everyone's going to like your content, and that's okay. The people that vibe for you, they will watch you and support you, and the people that don't, it just wasn't meant to be. But that would be my advice. If I could nail it down to three things: be yourself, practice talking in front of a camera, don't worry about the views, the likes, the subs, and just it's a journey, and just have fun in the journey. And it's a long process. YouTube is hard. Trust me, just ask ask the other content creators, man. But yeah, it's hard, but it's fun. I enjoy it. But great question, Peo, and I appreciate that donation, man. David says we need to improve our O line on the right side, including center. So, David, would you be interested in having Alex Mack return as the starting center for the 49ers? Is that something that would interest you, David? Because I believe Alex Mack has 1 year left on his contract. So, hey, he can return as the center. I think we should keep him if he still wants to play. I heard some noise that he may retire. We'll see what happens, but I would like to have him back. I think he had a much better second half of the season than his first half. I think he played much better in the second part of the season. But I would definitely welcome back Alex Mack if he still wanted to play. And the right side, I mean, I don't think this team is going to get rid of McGlinchey. I just don't see it. McGlinchey's got 1 year left on his contract. I know he's not a great right tackle. He's much better at run blocking, and we need a right tackle who's better at pass blocking, but I just don't see them getting rid of McGlinchey, who's got 1 year left on his deal. So the only really position you could upgrade is right guard. Do you really think Aaron Banks is going to be that much better than Brunskill? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Aaron Banks, can do in the training camp and off season. But I don't see that many significant upgrades on this offensive line. Honestly, if Mack comes back, he'll be the center. Hopefully, we'll re-sign Lincoln Tomlinson at left guard. Right, if Aaron Banks comes in, maybe he can overtake that right guard spot. And I think McGlinchey will be back. So I don't think there'll be any major changes. Now, hopefully in the draft, we draft a combo guard / center, a player who can play both. Hopefully we draft at least one player in that department, but I don't think there'll be any major changes on this offensive line. We got Crazy Juice in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Crazy Juice. Hopefully you're having an excellent Thursday night. We got Blue True in the building. Hot diggity dog. Appreciate that $10 donation, Blue True. Hopefully all is well for you on a Thursday night. Blue True says, great YouTuber advice at Jay in the Bay. Congrats at Pale Time, LA Rams YouTuber, and at Rams House Super Bowl. Here you come. Yep. Congratulations to you guys. You guys definitely, earned that victory. You guys did an excellent job, and definitely you guys won the time of possession. You were the better team on third down. You stopped our run game. We had to depend on Jimmy G and his right arm, and it just wasn't enough to get it done. And Cooper Kupp and OBJ, they were incredible. We really had no answer for them. Man, and we had some blunders on our end. Jaquiski Tart with that drop pick. Oh, man. Woo, Jaquiski Tart is a free agent. It'll be interesting to see if we bring him back. Obviously, it wouldn't be a multi-year contract extension. It might be a 1-year deal for Jaquiski Tart, but that dropped interception. That's he owned up to it though. He owned up to it. Got to respect him for that. But and the Jimmy Ward personal foul on OBJ, that was completely uncalled for, but you don't expect players to make veteran plays like that. But that's one that we had some opportunities and we could not capitalize. But also you got to give credit to them good old LA Rams. Let's see. Got a few more comments. Let's see. David says the Rams stacked the box, stopped our run game, then exposed our coverage unit. Yeah. And I wasn't surprised that the Rams wide receivers had some. They made some plays over our corners, but I was surprised that D'Amico didn't really make any adjustments. And that's something that we had seen in previous games in the regular season, that D'Amico Ryans, he would make adjustments throughout the game. And in this game, it just didn't seem like he made any adjustments. So that was disappointing to see, especially with Cooper Kupp. I mean, man, it didn't matter who was on him. And I'm not sure why we didn't double him. For instance, against Devontae Adams and the Packers, we doubled Devontae. We were able to slow him down, but not sure why we didn't do the same with Cooper Kupp. But and they also stacked the box. We couldn't run the ball, averaging 2.5 yards per carry. That's just putrid. I don't remember the last time a 49ers offense under Shanahan had that lack of run production. But great comment, David. David says, yep. Okay, so I read that one already. Let's see. Oh, John, what's good? He says, how do you think our offense will look like with Lance at the helm? I would hope that Shanahan would use all of his traits, all of his abilities to the 49ers offensive advantage. So what I mean is, use his legs when necessary. He's got an arm. I want to see, like, for instance, if Trey Lance would have been in the game against the Rams and they had 8 or 9 or 10 guys at the box, hey, why don't we do play action? You got one-on-one coverage with the receivers and the corners. Why not throw it deep? I'm expecting, Shanahan to allow Trey Lance to throw the ball deeper. It'll be interesting to see with the run game, with the it would be interesting to see Lance in some pistol formations, running the ball. I think Lance, definitely don't want him to be like Lamar Jackson or anything like that as far as his running the ball. I think we should use him when there are no options for him. If the corners are covering his wide receivers and he has to maneuver and run out of the pocket, I like that better than just having him, run up the middle. Kind of like how we did against the Arizona Cardinals when he started. I don't want to see those types of runs. But just use him, use his athleticism. I want to see, obviously, throwing deep, maneuvering out of the pocket, running if necessary. I just don't want to see him, run like a Lamar Jackson or nothing like that. I think he could get hurt, and I think there's other ways we can use him. Hopefully, we have a more balanced attack with Trey Lance. Obviously, we want to run the ball, but if we can't, hopefully Trey Lance can win the game with his right arm. That's what I'm hoping for. But, I think once Lance gets more comfortable with the playbook, I think we could run a similar offense to what Jimmy G was running, but just give him more freedom to make more throws. That's what I think, especially outside the numbers. So hopefully Trey Lance gets that opportunity, but I'm intrigued to see how Shanahan uses Trey Lance. Sacrifice TV Gaming, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. He says, my dog, great season for your 49ers overall. The 49ers is basically like a second team of mine. I grew up watching since my childhood. Do you think it's time to move on from Jimmy G? Hey, man, thanks for tuning into the stream. Great question, man. Yeah, I think we did have a pretty good season. Most Niner fans, most people who watched the team did not think we would be in the NFC Conference Championship game, me included. I thought we were, we barely got into the playoffs, but this team never quit, continued to fight. They continued to pull in the same direction. And the coaching staff didn't give up. The special teams saved us against the Packers game, and they they had a very, very up and down season. So, but yeah, as far as Jimmy G, I think it's time to move on from Jimmy G. I think the writing was on the wall once we traded up to get Trey Lance. And I just don't see the team having the salary cap to really rebuild this team, or I should not rebuild, but just to retool to add more weapons to this team with Jimmy G on the roster. I just don't see it. He's got $25 million. on the cap. And I just don't think it would be in this team's best interest to keep Jimmy G. I think it's time for the trade era to begin. And also, I was thinking, D Ford, I think his time with the team is done. He's probably a guy that won't be back. The secondary is kind of, there's Jason Verrett, who's coming off a torn ACL. I wouldn't be surprised if we bring him back. Jaquiski Tart, I don't know. He's on a 1-year deal. Hopefully I think Aziz is a free agent this year, but I think we should re-sign him. But I'll be surprised if we were able to bring back Aziz and Dre Greenlaw. I'll be surprised by that. And Greenlaw had a lot of issues with injuries, this season. But to answer your question, it's definitely time to move on from Jimmy G. Absolutely. The Ramilia Sports Report. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, man. Congrats to your LA Rams. He says, what's good, my Niner brother at Jay in the Bay. Great to see OBJ console Debo after the game. Shows great rivals can give their all, but still show love and respect to one another. Yeah, and that's what it's all about. Yeah, that was nice of OBJ to do that. Definitely didn't have to, but that was a great gesture by OBJ. And thanks for tuning in, man. We got Niner sickness in the building. What's good? And congrats to Niner sickness. Just reached that 1K subscriber mark, man. Welcome to the club. It's an excellent club to be in, man. And for those that don't know, before I started YouTube, I saw Rombo Sports, but I also saw Niner Sickness, and he was doing live streams and things like that and interacting with the 49er fans. So I saw firsthand from Niner Sickness that, he has a gift. His passion is clearly the 49ers, and he loves interacting with his fans. And that's something I strive to do as well. And I just want to say kudos to you, Niner Sickness, because I started watching you in the beginning and said, hey, Niner Sickness is doing this. Why can't I do it? Why not do it, man? He's passionate. I'm passionate. Why not do it? And it's great to see that you got your 1K subs, man, and I'm sure you'll be monetized in no time, man. So big ups to Niner Sickness. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to Niner Sickness on YouTube. And KD says also, Niner Sickness, congratulations on hitting that 1K. John says McGlinchey was looking decent at pass blocking this season prior to his injury too. Yeah, I mean, he's decent. I don't know if he's a great long-term fit. I mean, if I'm McGlinchey and his representation, I wouldn't want to take a hometown discount from the Niners. I'm trying to get the most money I can get at that right tackle position. And this year we might get the best out of McGlinchey. He's playing for that lucrative next contract extension that may not be from the 49ers. But a lot of teams will probably be looking his way. I mean, he's a solid right tackle, definitely a better run blocker, but he's pretty decent. He's solid. He's solid right tackle. So I think we may get McGlinchey's best year since, I will say, we'll probably get his best year since Staley retired. We got a hot diggity dog. Appreciate that, KD. He says, do you think we would sign a veteran backup quarterback for Trey Lance? And who would you like the Niners to get? Wow, man. That's a great question, KD. It all depends on how much money the Niners want to spend in this department. I mean, we have Nate Sudfeld. He's been with the team all year. He understands the terminology. He understands the playbook. I wouldn't be surprised if we bring Nate Sudfeld back. And maybe we also bring in a guy like maybe a Marcus Mariota, someone who can run a little bit. He can bring something to the table that's different than Nate Sudfeld, but similar to Trey Lance. So Marcus Mariota, I don't know if he's a free agent this year. I know he's been with the Raiders the last 2 seasons, but Marcus Mariota would be an interesting quarterback to back up Trey Lance because he can do similar things that Trey can. Yeah, I appreciate the question, KD, but I think Marcus Mariota will be solid. As far as other backup quarterbacks, I know there's probably Mitchell Trubisky, Teddy Bridgewater, Tyrod Taylor. Hopefully that won't have to be a big deal this year. Hopefully we won't have to see a backup quarterback. and Trey Lance will start every game. But I wouldn't be surprised if Nate Sudfeld comes back. But Marcus Mariota, he definitely intrigues me. That's for sure. But it also all depends on how much money the Niners want to spend in that area. We got a hip lady in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream. I hear your Vikings. I think they got a GM, right? And I think they're zeroing in on their head coach. And good luck in that area. And I appreciate the kind words. She says, "What's good, Jay? 1400 on the channel. Huge huzzah to that." Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's been a long time coming. But thank you very much for those kind words. David says, "I think we should draft the center. Then Mac will have competition to push him out or to push him. I'm holding out hope that Aaron Banks works out." Yeah, I'm holding out hope as well because Aaron Banks is a second round pick. I mean, he's got to work out, right? I mean, he has to overtake Brunskill this year. Hopefully he can stay healthy. I know Banks had that shoulder injury at the end of training camp last year. But hopefully Aaron Banks can beat out Brunskill. I mean, he has to. A second round pick, we got to get the most out of him. And hopefully he will overtake Brunskill and be the better player in training camp. But Brunskill, he's no slouch. I know sometimes he gets pushed around, but he knows Shanahan's system. He can play center, he can play guard. It's probably going to be hard to beat out Brunskill, but hopefully Aaron Banks can do that this offseason. It'll be, one full year in an NFL environment, working out NFL wise. And the sky is the limit for Banks, but he's got to make the most out of his opportunity. That's for sure. We got Brett in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Brett. How is your Thursday night going? I appreciate you joining the stream tonight. Hopefully all is well on a Thursday night. And just to put a bow on the 49ers versus Rams, obviously, hey, they were the better team that made more plays. And the 49ers, we didn't execute in a lot of areas, especially the running game. And when we needed Jimmy G to be his best, he wasn't. And the offensive line also didn't play his best either. But, hey, the Rams deserve that win. And it's time to move on to the 49ers offseason. The 49ers did make some roster signings. Not sure if you guys heard. 49ers did bring 11 players back to the team on reserve future contracts. And basically what this means is these players are signed to the team and basically they're signed through training camp. So these 11 players, they will be in training camp unless they get cut before then, and they will have an opportunity to make the roster. And a lot of these players were on the team last year. Wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson was not on the team last year. We just signed him a few weeks ago. And I think everyone else was pretty much on the team. And now I'm intrigued to see Alfredo Gutierrez. Obviously he was a player who's involved in that NFL pathway, international pathway program. And he's originally born in Mexico. And, the guy is 6'9", 332 pounds. He's a big guy. Hey, I think it might be a stretch for Alfredo Gutierrez to really make the active roster, but it's great to see him continue to, work on his craft. And hopefully we can see some improvement from last year, because there's an opportunity, especially with McGlinchey possibly not being here next year, I should say after this season. Hey, maybe Alfredo Gutierrez can step in. That might be a stretch, but I mean, we can hope, right? He's working under a great offensive lineman coach, and hopefully that offensive lineman coach can get the most out of Alfredo Gutierrez. Great story. And but this is the latest 49ers news. We did sign 11 players to the future contract. Now the 49ers also, there is some change to the 49ers. There is some change to the 49ers coaching staff. Looks like we have let go assistant coach / tight end coach John Embry. And the 49ers asked him to take a 60% pay cut. That's a lot of money. That's more than half. And he obviously did not accept that pay cut. So the 49ers let him go. Does this have a huge impact on the team? Probably not. But this is the latest news, and John Embry, unfortunately, will no longer be a part of the 49ers coaching staff, and he was with the team since 2017 with Kyle Shanahan. I wonder what happened. Why would they ask him to take a pay cut? I guess they felt he wasn't performing up to standards. I don't know, but hopefully John Embry lands on his feet. We got Bird Gang 31 in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Bird Gang. How is your Thursday night going, man? I think you just reached 2,000 subscribers, man. So continue to grind, man. You're doing a really, really good job. Thanks for tuning in to the stream tonight. We got David. He says Marcus Mariota or Mitch Trubisky would be my picks. Maybe Gardner Minshew if we can't get those first two options. Yeah, that would be solid backup quarterbacks. Yeah, I could definitely see one of those three. I would not be opposed to that. And maybe Sudfeld, because I think the Niners, they'll probably have at least 3 or 4 quarterbacks in training camp. Probably keep 3 or maybe 2 on the active roster and 1 on the practice squad. So, we'll see. It'd be interesting to see which quarterbacks they bring in. We got Monica in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Monica. Long time no see, especially on a live stream. I know you are very, very busy, but it's great. I came on live on a Thursday night. You're able to come through. Monica says, Jay, what's good? Finally able to catch you live again. Hope all is well and happy 1400. I appreciate the kind words, Monica. Thank you very much. And that's great. We're able to finally link up on a live stream. It's been a minute, man. Let's see. Niner Sickness says, thanks for the kind words, brother. Congratulations on your 1400 on your channel. You're the best. Hey, man, appreciate the kind words. And you'll be here in no time, man, because you have a great following. You interact with your guests, with the faithful, the Niner Empire. And it's something that definitely, it's something definitely I strive to be like. That's for sure. I love the interaction you have with your fans and the faithful. So definitely something to be proud of, man. Absolutely. Definitely something to be proud of. And you're just getting started, Niner Signature, just getting started. Bay Area Throwbacks. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Hopefully everything is well for you on a Thursday night, man. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. We got to talk about, I got a question for the chat. I got a question for you guys. Love to know how you guys feel about this. We got to talk about Jimmy G. Now, you guys know I've been one of the biggest Jimmy G fans, especially, content creators on YouTube. I was definitely rooting and riding for Jimmy G. I thought 2021 would be a great year for Jimmy G and this team. I thought this would be the last year that Jimmy G would be in a 49er uniform, but I thought he'd be playing for his next contract. And, I just thought we would get the most out of Jimmy G. So my question for the chat is, how will you remember Jimmy G? Are those fond memories? And was the Jimmy G trade successful? When Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch got hired in 2017, we had, I think it was Brian Hoare, who was the starting quarterback. But I think this team started out, was it like 1-9, I believe? And the Niners, decided to trade for Jimmy G from the New England Patriots, gave up a second-round pick. Jimmy G won the last 5 games of the season that he started, and the sky was the limit in 2018. And unfortunately, 2018, he tore his ACL against the Kansas City Chiefs, and the season was lost. 2019, all the stars aligned. Jimmy G was a huge part in getting this team to the Super Bowl. Obviously, we just couldn't make enough plays in that fourth quarter to win the Super Bowl. 2020, he gets hurt again. In 2021, he helps lead us to the NFC Championship game. And I would say, now this is also a great question. I'm just thinking out loud, but all the quarterbacks of the 2000s, so the best quarterbacks of the 2000s, of course, you got Garcia. I mean, you got to put Alex Smith up there. Of course, Cap, and then there's Jimmy G. So out of those 4 quarterbacks, how would you rank them? Obviously, as far as team success, I believe Jimmy G is the most successful out of those quarterbacks. Um, so obviously, Jimmy G would have to be high up there. But Jeff Garcia, man, it's unfortunate that Jeff Garcia, I don't think we went to the playoffs with Jeff Garcia. I don't think. Someone in the chat let me know, but I don't think we went to the playoffs with Jeff Garcia. But Jeff Garcia definitely put up numbers. Um, but every quarterback, the most successful ones were Cap and Jimmy G. But Jimmy G, how I remember him, he did some good things. He threw for over 10,000 yards. He had I think his record was 33 wins, 34 wins, something like that. So he had a successful tenure with the 49ers, but it wasn't enough. It definitely wasn't enough. Those 2 injury-plagued years definitely hurt his standing with the team. Obviously, his teammates love him. His teammates speak great things about him. But let me know in them comments, was the Jimmy G trade successful? I would say it was, based on the team's success while he was under center. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that number 6, but I think he's well respected by his teammates and the coaching staff, and obviously there was a roller coaster years when he was here, dealing with the injuries and the inconsistent play. But I think I appreciate for Jimmy for what he's done for the team. But nothing lasts forever. I mean, hell, if Tom Brady gets cut, I mean, then anyone could get cut, right? I mean, so I appreciate Jimmy for what he's done for the team, but it's time to move on. But I think that trade was successful. He brought this team to relevance. I think back to relevance, of course, with the running game and the defense and all that. But Jimmy G was definitely part of that process. So how will you remember Jimmy G? Let me know in the comment section. And was the Jimmy G trade successful? I would love to hear your thoughts, Faithful. Let's see what the people have to say. Let's see. We have Bird Gang, all good, my guy. Thanks. Always support my guy. Appreciate the kind words, man. Appreciate that. The feelings are mutual, Monica. Absolutely. Sacrifice TV. One last question. Top 3 Niners of all time. Man, that's a great question. I got 2 answers for that. So top 3 Niners, got to put Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and Ronnie Lott. I think those are the top 3. The top 3 49ers that I personally watched, and I started watching the team late 90s, so I would put Terrell Owens, I would put Patrick Willis, and I would probably put Frank Gore. I think those are the top 3 49ers that I have watched personally. Terrell Owens, Pat Willis, and Frank Gore. I think those are my top 3. Monica says press conference is on now with the mayor of Inglewood talking about the 49ers fan beating that so far. Yeah, that's terrible news. I read about that earlier today where 49ers fan who actually owns a restaurant in Oakland, California. And for those that don't know, Oakland and San Francisco, they're about like 15 minutes away. You just go across the bridge. But he's a business owner in Oakland, and he went to the 49ers Rams NFC Championship game, and unfortunately, he was beaten in the parking lot, and unfortunately, he's in a coma now. So very, very unfortunate situation. Hopefully, he's able to pull through, but it's just a game. It's definitely taking it way too far. But hopefully, they find the people that committed that assault, because that's just taking it way, way too far. And as Monica says, prayers up. And Barry throwbacks in regards to how he will remember Jimmy G. He says he's not consistent enough. I would agree with that. Hey, Barry throwbacks. And I think he's going to answer this question, so let me get to it. KT says, I wish Jimmy G well on his new journey. I echo your sentiments. Barry throwback says, Garcia is my favorite quarterback during this century. And then I was going to ask you, yeah, so that's another great question. Who is your, who's your favorite quarterback, or who's the most successful quarterback? I mean, the most successful is, it's going to be between Jimmy G and Cap. Unfortunately, neither one were able to win that Super Bowl, but they were both the most successful in their tenures with the 49ers. And I think Jimmy G probably, no, I think it's pretty close between Jimmy G and Cap. I think obviously Cap was more electric, did more with his legs, more dynamic. But you'd have to put Jimmy G, and if you're ranking the top 4 in the century, and Jeff Garcia was great. I wish we would have been able to stay with the 49ers longer because he had some pretty good seasons with the Niners. But Garcia, Alex Smith, he's the least accomplished, and he spent the most time with the team. And then Jimmy G and Cap, I think the most successful, obviously, was between Jimmy G and Cap. But, yeah, Garcia was definitely exciting to watch, man. That's for sure. Monica says the trade was successful. Yes, love him or hate him. He was winning. He gave us hope when we had none. Good leader. And, man, I respect the guy. I wish him nothing but the best in his future. And for those that are just tuning in, feel free to answer that question below. How will you remember Jimmy G, and was the Jimmy G trade successful? And I appreciate that response. And I agree. No doubt he had his faults. Sometimes he would not take responsibility. But other than that, I mean, his teammates respect him, that's for sure. So clearly he was a good leader in certain ways. He wasn't perfect, but I think he was a good leader. And you're absolutely right. 2017, the season was lost. We made that trade for Jimmy G, and he brought hope to not only his teammates, to the franchise. And I believe Eric Armstead, I'm going to pull this up real quick, but Eric Armstead, Eric Armstead and also other 49er players obviously spoke well of Jimmy G. We've heard the thoughts from Juice Check. We've heard Kittle. But, Eric Armstead said some great things about Jimmy G. I'm going to see if I can pull this up. Let's see. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to pull this up because I'm not sure if everyone has seen this. But this was basically a tweet from Eric Armstead, and he had a hell of a year. And Eric Armstead has some nice things to say about Jimmy G. All right, so let's pull this up. Let me hide this comment. So this is a tweet from Eric Armstead. So Eric Armstead says, "Thank you at Jimmy G. Our team was in some dark days before you came. Fortunate to see the day-to-day process and what you go through. Major respect for you." So, that's our Eric Armstead is a leader. He's one of the better players on the defensive side of the ball, and he spoke very highly of Jimmy G. And at the end of the day, it's a business. We knew the writing was on the wall when Trey Lance was drafted, but there's another highly respected player in our locker room who speaks well of Jimmy. So, I think Jimmy was a leader, and I think his teammates respect him. And that's, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So, great comment, Monica. Bayer Throwback says, we went to the playoffs with Garcia. We went to 2 playoffs with Garcia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I would have to. I remember we had a game against the New York Giants, and I believe Garcia was the quarterback. I think that was the wild card game, and that was when the Giants, they had the field goal, and it was a bad snap. And then I think the Giants holder threw the ball, and the Niners defender tackled the receiver or something like that. I think that was in the early 2000s. So, yeah, I think Jeff Garcia was the quarterback there. So, I'm not sure if we had a playoff victory under Garcia. I think that's what I meant. I don't think we had a playoff victory under Garcia. But there's no doubt. Jeff Garcia, he was definitely exciting to watch. But you can't really argue as far as successful. And I know a winning is a team stat. It's not just, Jimmy G won this game or Garcia won this game. It's a team game. But as far as team success, there's no doubt Jimmy G is up there with Cap. They are throwbacks. At least one, though, for sure, because we had that crazy playoff game against the Giants. Exactly. With Garcia back in it. Exactly. Monica says, it was a nice ride, but we got the new whip in the garage ready to go. Got some tread on his tires. Exactly. Yep, it's time to hand the keys over. It's time to let the rookie go. He got 2 games in this year. Obviously, some say they wish there would have been more. But I think this year it turned out to be a success. After we blew out the Rams on Monday night, we got back to basics. We were able to run the ball effectively. And Elijah Mitchell, him missing games definitely hurt the running game. When he wasn't in there, obviously Debo wasn't running the ball yet. This running game wasn't really the same without Elijah Mitchell, and he missed some games this year. There's no telling if he would have been in there. Hey, maybe we could have won a few more games. But like Monica said, it was a fun ride, nice 4 years, but it's time to move on. Let's see, Blue True. Thanks at Monica. Yes, prayers up to the 49ers fan who is in a coma. He is a restaurant owner in Oakland. Welcome back to at Monica. Absolutely. Ranger 44. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream. Ranger says, went to the playoffs 2001, lost to Packers in the first round. Jeff Garcia. Okay. So Jeff Garcia did take us to the playoffs. Let's see. We have Ammo Junkie 530, Blue True Prayers. And for those that are new, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I forgot to say that, but hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to Jay and the Bay. We got Crisco's Country Life. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Hopefully all is well for you on a Sunday night, or excuse me, on a Thursday night. Monica says, thanks to Blue True. Ranger 44-02. Garcia led the comeback against the Giants down 38-14. Yep. Sacrifice TV. Jimmy was good, just not consistent. I agree. That's been his biggest issue. First, it was the health, and then it was just throwing the ball accurately. And that continues to be an issue for him. Some drives he looks good. And other drives, it's like, who is this guy? Ammo Junkie says he was good, but made too many mistakes. And I think you're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. Crisco, where do you see Jimmy G next year? Not in a 49er uniform, Crisco. I can see a few teams being interested in Jimmy G. I think we will probably ideally trade him to a team in the AFC. And that could be the Pittsburgh Steelers. That could be the Denver Broncos. I'm trying to think of any other, maybe the Houston Texans. They might want to trade for Jimmy G. I think the Houston Texans GM was in the player development department with the New England Patriots when Jimmy G was there. So there is a familiarity there. So he could go to Texans, Steelers, Broncos, but we'll see. David, I agree. Jimmy G helped our team win, but couldn't pull off the big game. I wish him well wherever he ends up. And I think that's been, the sentiment, at least the people I've talked to, the fans that I've talked to, is that, hey, his time came. He was solid, couldn't win the big game, but, we wish him well. So let's see. Ammo Junkie gives his top 3 49er players of all time. He's got Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, and Roger Craig. All right. Crisco offers his top 3 Niners of all time. He's got Montana, Rice, and Young. All right. Monica says, reported that Tampa Bay, Steelers, Denver will make a strong push for Jimmy G. And for me personally, I don't care if we trade him to an NFC team. I actually will be looking forward to play against Jimmy G. I don't mind that at all, but that would be funny as hell if we play whichever team Jimmy G gets traded to and we lose to them. That'd be funny as hell. But I'm not really concerned about going up against Jimmy G, I would say. But yeah, Tampa Bay, they like to throw the ball a lot. So that would be interesting to see Bruce Arians use Jimmy G in that manner, because with the Niners, Jimmy throws the ball, 20, 25 times on average at most. And with the Buccaneers, they throw the ball more than 30 times easily. So that would be interesting to see Jimmy G in a pass-heavy offensive attack And then with the Steelers, yeah, I can see the Steelers in Denver because, they got strong running games. They got weapons on the outside. They have weapons on defense. And, Jimmy would be an upgrade to their current quarterback situation. All three, I think. Man, rookie running back Elijah Mitchell, 6th-round pick. I mean, man, we struck gold. He easily could have been a first-round draft pick. Not sure why he lasted that long, but we're definitely glad to have him. Definitely one of the best rookie running back seasons I've ever seen, I've ever witnessed. And I'm looking forward to the future with him because he fits this Shanahan scheme perfectly. And I think if you pair him with Raheem Mostert next year, I think that could be a deadly duo for sure. But definitely glad we got Elijah Mitchell. Bayer Throwback says Jimmy had a longer tenure than Cap, which would put me above him just because of that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm trying to remember Cap's years. I think it was 3 years he was with the team because it seems so long ago. But obviously he went out. He left the team, or I should say cut, a year after Harbaugh was fired. And I think Harbaugh was fired in 2014 or 2013? It was one of those 2 years. But I think Cap had his run with the Niners for about 3 years. And then Jimmy, obviously, 4 years. So, yeah, I agree, though. Jimmy did have a longer tenure than Cap. David says his Mount Rushmore of 49ers, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Steve Young. And he says Bryant Young deserves an honorable mention, no doubt. Bryant Young, definitely a hell of a player. I believe he leads the 49ers in sacks all time. And no doubt he should be up there. And it was glad to see him get, I think he got his jersey was retired with the Niners this season. And I think he got I don't think he got a statue, but I think his jersey was retired. So much respect to Bryant Young. One of the 49er greats. SG Sports Talk. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. And feel free to answer the question. How will you remember Jimmy G? And was the Jimmy G trade successful? KD says he saw Jimmy G, Kaepernick, and Alex Smith. Yeah. Appreciate the kind words, SG. Appreciate you, man. And KD says Alex Smith, Jeff Garcia. Yeah, I mean, those were the best quarterbacks of the 2000s. SG says Jeff Garcia attended San Jose State, and he was a great quarterback on the Niners, and he was a very electric football player. I agree. Because he came in basically after Steve Young was forced to retire due to the concussions. I just wish Garcia would have been able to spend more time with the 49ers. Tommy, what's good? He says Monica came back from retirement. That's funny. I appreciate that $2 donation, Tommy. He says, I still hate the Lambs, Jay and the Bay. I bet you do. I know you're rooting for the Bengals as I in the Super Bowl. Let's see. It's going good, SG, just talking about the faithful, the Niner Empire. We got to get into, did you guys hear what Richard Sherman said? Did you guys hear what Richard Sherman said? So I was surprised Richard Sherman would say this because you would think when Richard Sherman goes into the Hall of Fame, he's probably going to go in as a Seattle Seahawk. I mean, that's what I would expect. But Richard Sherman has some choice words to say about the Seattle Seahawks. So I'm going to read a few excerpts from Richard Sherman, and I believe he was on his own radio show. But let me blow this up so you guys can see it if you want to read along. So Richard Sherman right here, he's talking about, got to get into these Richard Sherman comments. So Richard Sherman right here, he's talking about the Seahawks. He says, and this is Richard Sherman talking, they cut me in the middle of Achilles rehab, and then the fans still had the audacity to get mad that I signed with San Francisco. I didn't leave. I got fired. To cut somebody in the middle of Achilles rehab, you don't do that to your enemy. Richard Sherman also said, Seattle fans are going to hate to hear this because it's just they hate accountability these days. They're probably going to get rid of Bobby. I think he's talking about Bobby Wagner. Russell Wilson is learning that you either leave the hero or you stay long enough to become the villain. These fans had never won anything before we got here. They went to the Super Bowl in '06, and they were happy to be there, and that was their biggest claim. Then we got there, we win a Super Bowl, we spoiled them with historic defense, and then all of a sudden, that's their expectation. So, hey, Richard Sherman has never been known. He's always, I should say, he's always been known to speak his mind. But it's interesting that he's talking about the Seattle Seahawks franchise like this. And of course, he takes a jab at Russell Wilson. He says, "You have not been anywhere close to a Super Bowl letting Russ cook. You will not be anywhere close to a Super Bowl letting him throw 30 to 40 times a game, because not only are you stopping the clock, so your defense, your time of possession, your propensity to turn the ball over is going to increase." So interesting words by Richard Sherman. I don't think he's lying at all, but it's interesting that he would say that, about the Seattle Seahawks fan base, But I wasn't sure if you guys had heard about that, but those were the comments made by Richard Sherman today on his radio show. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Let me know in them comments. We got Romello Bell in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, man. Hopefully all is well for you. SG Sports Talk. What are your thoughts on Jimmy G in a Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniform? Hey, I welcome it, man. I hope, obviously, first and foremost, I want the 49ers to get the most compensation we can get for Jimmy. I don't care what team it is. I don't care what conference it is, but the Niners need to make the trade. That's what's in the best interest of the team, and I have no doubt that they'll do that. I don't care who he gets traded to. Now, if he goes to Tampa Bay, that's cool. I don't mind that at all. I'm looking forward to playing Jimmy G and whatever team he's on next year. Hopefully he gets traded to one of the teams that we're playing next year, because I'm definitely looking forward to that. Let's continue on with these comments. SG says, "I really love that Trey Lance choose the number 5 as his jersey number, and he is showing some love to Jeff Garcia, who was one of the greatest quarterbacks on the 49ers, and he was legendary." Now, you're definitely right about that. That's a great number to wear. Jeff Garcia, he wore that number proudly, and he performed well. I just wish we could have, kept him longer. I'm not sure why did we. I'm just gonna look up Jeff Garcia's stats real quick, because I don't know. I don't understand why we didn't want to re-sign him. Bay Area guy, born in Gilroy. I mean, he was with the Niners from '99 to 2003. And he became the starter in 2000. So from 2000 to 2003, he was a starter. Had 2 winning seasons from 2001 to 2002. And then the last season he was with the team, 2013, we didn't get to the playoffs. So I guess that was the reason why. But man, he put up some good numbers, and especially when Terrell Owens was there as well. I mean, Jeff Garcia and Terrell Owens, they put up good numbers. They didn't really have a good relationship, unfortunately. But man, Jeff Garcia, he put up some excellent numbers when he was with the 49ers, that's for sure. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in to the stream, Tom. Hey, have a good run, man. Your health is your wealth. Monica says, "Go Bengals." Joe Cool taking it home. That's what I'm thinking too. KD says, "My 3 players are Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and Ronnie Lott." Hey, I respect that. SG Sports Talk says, "Go Bengals. Let's get the Super Bowl win over the LA Rams, and I can't wait to have some lamb chops." Hey, that sounds good to me, SG. We have "Stop Calling Us the Lambs." LOL. What's good? What up? Stop Calling Us the Lambs. How are you doing? I know you're happy for your LA Rams, man. But we're definitely looking forward. I'm looking forward to the game. I don't have a rooting interest, but hey, I ain't gonna lie. If the Bengals win, I ain't gonna be mad. That's for sure. Monica says, "Silence of the Lambs." Absolutely. Romello, he won't want to play the Niners. They know how to beat him. Yeah, you're right about that. You're definitely right about that. Cook Smoke Sports. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How was your Thursday night going? Obviously, definitely not the way I wanted to end the season, but this is the 49ers off season now. And thanks for tuning into the stream. But I will continue putting out content on this channel throughout the offseason. There's a lot to talk about, how the team can improve. Obviously, the latest 49ers news. So, yeah, I appreciate everyone tuning into the stream. Romello says T.O. was a great wide receiver. Absolutely. I think one of the best to ever do it. He's definitely my favorite 49er player. I wish he would have retired a Niner and spent his entire career with the 49ers. But unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition. But let's see. Monica says he wants the Bengals. You're right about that. Yeah. But you know, got to give Trey a chance. Got to give him a fair shot. And there's going to be some ups and downs. But, you know, I think people will. Let me hold on one second. If Trey Lance and in the next 2 seasons that he's a starter, if he doesn't have the same success that Jimmy had, people are going to talk and question the decision. There's no doubt about that. There is pressure on Trey Lance. You know, Jimmy G did have success with this team, and if Trey Lance doesn't have the same success as Jimmy, people will question the decision. I won't, because I'm thinking that Trey Lance has higher potential than Jimmy. We know what we're going to get from Jimmy, but I think Trey Lance has higher potential, and I'm going to be patient with the young signal caller. And that's my thinking. But I think we should be a playoff team next year. I don't see why we shouldn't. But there will be a learning curve, and he will make some mistakes. There's no doubt about that. But I appreciate everyone that was on the stream tonight. Shout out to Monica. That was good that we were able to finally, the stars were aligned. And shout out to everyone else who was in the chat tonight. Niner Cygnus, congratulations again on that 1K subscribers. Shout out to Tommy for the super chat. Also, shout out to Corey Davis, Blue True, Payo Time. Appreciate those super chats. I will have and my game plan, my goal for this offseason is to continue to put out 49ers content at least a few times a week. That could be videos, live streams, and I still plan to do at least 2 live streams a week. Especially on Thursday and Sundays, and there will be a live stream this Sunday, and the thumbnail will be coming soon. And of course, you can still watch Jay and the Bay for all the latest 49ers news, and also you can see the community posts that I put up. You guys stay tuned for that. I think there might be. Let's see. Okay. I think there might be a few more comments. Let's see. Tommy says, I will be calling them the Lambs forever, and there ain't nothing you can say about it. David says, I have confidence in Trey Lance. He has a good team around him. Most top of the draft quarterbacks have horrible talent around them. Very true. I think Trey Lance is in the best situation out of all the rookie quarterbacks. You look at the head coach we have in Kyle Shanahan. You look at the plethora of talent we have on the offensive side of the ball. I think we're still going to run the ball a lot, but I think we'll be able to stretch the ball down the field more with Trey Lance. And hopefully, it's up to Shanahan to call those types of plays. And, I mean, he's done it. He did it in the preseason when Trey Lance threw that pass to Trent Sherfield. But he's got to be able to have confidence in Trey that he can get the ball down the field. But, yeah, I think we have the team around him on offense and defense. There's going to be – and we're going to talk about this on Sunday, but there's going to be some players who are up for free agency this season or this offseason. Like Lincoln Thompson, I think we should definitely re-sign him. DJ Jones, go DJ, that's my DJ, go DJ. He had an excellent year. It'll be interesting to see if the 49ers bring him back. I think Armstead works better inside, but then you got Javon Kinlaw coming back. So how will that rotation go? If Kinlaw's healthy all year, I guess you could still do a 3-man rotation for those defensive tackle positions, but we definitely should bring back DJ Jones. Lincoln Tomlinson, I want to see Raheem Mostert back. I think we should bring back Jason Verrett, but this is something we will talk about on Sunday. All the free agents that the 49ers have, and who do you guys think we should re-sign, who we should keep, who we should not, but that's something we'll talk about on Sunday. Adam, 1984, what's good? He says, bang, bang, Niner game, we lost, but it's all good. We weren't supposed to make it this far. We have a bright future. Yay! I completely agree. Trey Lance with his rookie contract. We're going to get Jimmy G's contract off the book, probably get D Ford's contract off the books. And I think we'll make several other moves to help better this team. Tommy says T.O. was a showboat. Yeah, but, you know, I appreciate his play on the field. There's no doubt he was one of the greatest wide receivers to ever do it. I think he's top 3. I would put him over Randy Moss. I would have Jerry Rice, you know, T.O., and I think T.O. would go before Randy Moss any day in my book. Looks like Monica agrees with Tommy. SG Sports. In Super Bowl 56, Joe Burrow will throw for 500-plus yards. He will have 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they will win the game by a score of 72-54 and host their first Vince Lombardi trophy in L.A. Wow. What a prediction, SG Sports Talk. We'll see if that comes to fruition. Tommy Huxley says, great player, but had a big mouth. Yeah, unfortunately, not all players can be like Larry Fitzgerald. You know, that's just, you know, not the case. But yeah, if T.O. had an attitude like Larry Fitz, he might have played in the 49ers uniform his entire career, you know. But you know, can't help but enjoy the talent because he definitely was exciting to watch. Adam says, I hope we can get Aaron Rodgers. What? You want to get Aaron Rodgers? What about Trey Lance? He's ready and waiting. What about Trey Lance, man? Let's see. SG Sports. He will be a Bengals fan for the Super Bowl. Romello says, we will try to see those, bro. Your show is fire. Appreciate the kind words, man. And thank you for continuing to support Jay and the Bay. And yeah, the content will not stop. Monica says, David, it was so funny because I commented Silence of the Lambs and then he came in next. Absolutely. Adam gives his prediction. He's got the Bengals upsetting the Rams. Okay. Let's see. Monica says Bengals in the year of the Tiger. Okay. I didn't know it was the year of the Tiger this year. Travis Berg, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How is your Thursday night going, man? Are you happy that your Raiders, you know, got Josh McDaniels and I think his name was Ziegler, the general manager? What are your thoughts on your Raiders and their additions, man? Let me know. Let's see. SG says my 49ers got eliminated, so the next team I'm rooting for is Cincinnati. Hey, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Monica says, and I think you're talking about Aaron Rodgers. He is hosting Jeopardy soon. That's funny. Travis says, I'm happy with it, although I would have liked Eric. Okay. Hey, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if they keep Derek Carr or if they decide to move on. Adam says, I like Trey Lance, but don't you think Lance can learn from Rodgers? I would let Lance sit one more season. He's still young. I mean, Aaron Rodgers would cost a pretty penny. And, you know, this team still has some holes. And I think obviously we wouldn't have Jimmy G's salary, but then you replace that with Aaron Rodgers. You're kind of in the same boat. But I don't know, you know. Aaron Rodgers, there's no doubt he's a talented guy, one of the best quarterbacks, but we've beaten him. You know, he's never beaten us. So I don't know. Honestly, I would probably rather sign Tom Brady to like a 1-year deal. I know he retired, but I would rather have Brady for 1 year than Rodgers. That's just me personally, though. But I hope. I don't think we would trade for a quarterback because we got Trey Lance, but you never know. You really never know. Let's see. I agree with you, Monica. If the Bengals win and either Burrow or Chase Super Bowl MVP, I agree with you because I think both teams are going to probably score a lot of points. I think it'll be in the 30s. That's for sure. But I appreciate everyone that was on the stream tonight. I'm going to call it a night. I will be back Sunday night, and we'll talk about the 49ers and free agency and all that good stuff. Where do we need to improve? Definitely talk about that. But I appreciate everyone coming on tonight. And everyone have a good rest of your week. And tomorrow is a payday Friday. Ain't nothing better than payday Friday, faithful. And shout out to everyone who was in the chat, who contributed to the stream, Also, everyone who left a super chat, I think that was Blue True, KD, Tommy Huxley, and Pale Time. I think those were the 4. And shout out to you guys. You guys have a great rest of your night. And thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Niners.